Ugh. Hello, all. Uh, I hope your Wednesday was good. And if it wasn't, then I hope your Thursday was good. Uh, I mean, if it wasn't, tomorrow's Friday, right? So that's good. Good Lord, mustache hair in your mouth is just the worst. Uh, I'm a little late by 10 minutes. Well, let's kick the show off. I've decided the show's going to be an hour and 15 minutes, so that just keeps us timely. Uh, it was a beautiful day. I stayed inside all day. That's not true. I stayed outside all day, got up at like 6, stayed inside all day, was super unproductive, which is getting to be a curse. Then had the nerve to go out and get fast food because I wanted a Whopper. I'm sorry, I wanted fries. And I happen to think that Burger King's Whopper is a better hamburger than McDonald's Big Mac. Um, and I've grown to think that their fries are pretty decent. I still think McDonald's has the best fries. But my I don't do a lot of fast food, but when I do a lot of driving, so every now and then I'll get fries from wherever I go. Why am I telling you this? So I'll get fries, and every time I go to get McDonald's fries, instead of like nice long fries, they're like use pencils. It makes me crazy. So I was like, yeah, all right, you're doing this on purpose. Someone at corporate has found this archive of me criticizing, and they've told every McDonald's employee who makes the fries throughout the whole country that I'm only to get these tiny little fries. That has to be what it is. It's the only thing that makes any sense. All right, so let's get started. Uh, but I stayed in all day. I had some old strawberries, so I fed them to the ravens, um, which I do. Uh, I don't know, man. Too much time spent watching the news. I knew what I need. I need a job. I need a job. But I'm too old to go back to work. So what I need is to start something that will soak up all this energy. Because I'm telling you, I've been in sort of a mood because remember yesterday we talked about Afghanistan, right? And I said I should dig it up on the pod and play it here, right? But I said it doesn't make any sense. There was a uh, the CIA, the NSA, the secrecy boys, right? The secrecy boys uh, were like, "Hey, yo, we got worried that they want to attack us," and I said on this show that doesn't make any sense. And to me, to this day, sitting here right now speaking to you, it still doesn't make any sense because you want us to leave and we're leaving, right? So why would you attack us? What are we going to do about it? You lost 12 American soldiers today and wounded a further 15. What are you going to do about it? But then I heard that uh, ISIS, right, the remnants of it, and Al Qaeda are fighting, and they're both in the Arabian Peninsula. And up until a few months ago, they were all allied against us. So now they can get back to killing each other. And it looks like it's kicked off already. So the Taliban didn't do it, but not ISIS. Al Qaeda did, right? Because there's terrorists all over the place. But why? Indiscriminately kill these people you want to govern. Here's the problem: we shouldn't have been there this long, There should be a look into why we were there this long. But I think it was just to bleed money from the treasury. How are these people not traders? How are they not traders? I mean, we could have been there 12 years if we went there about our business, right? Humoring Karzai. That was ridiculous. Remember that guy in Iraq who said, "Oh, I know people," and they gave him all this money and all this influence. He turned to be a fucking con man. I don't know. I don't know. Oh man, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Uh, hey, William, that's a really good question. That is a super good question. Uh, why didn't Biden start the evacuation 2 months ago? I don't know, man. I don't know. Now, here's my thing about the way government should work versus how they work. Uh, let's tip this down a little bit. Right, versus how they work. If I get elected president, right, and I am an idiot, you have all these people who can advise you, right? Who take an oath of loyalty to the flag and essentially to you, the president, to see the presidency. They should be running cons on you. I want to say you should be able to depend on the congressmen and senators, but I think that's just, you know. But at the end of the day, there are people who will tell you. I mean, remember they said to George Bush, "I don't know if you should kick everybody out." Uh, and if so I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. ISIS, yeah, ISIS K. What's the K for? ISIS K took responsibility for the deadly attack in Kabul. Yeah, ISIS. Yeah, here's the thing. We went there to get Al Qaeda. Al Qaeda springs up ISIS and APAQ, I think, right? Uh, and there's like four of them I used to know. One's named after the Haqqani Network, right? So you spring up all these little things while you're trying to be diplomatic, right? The ISIS once smuggled in a bomb into like a CIA meeting, right? Because he was such an important guest, he didn't get checked or anything. He goes in there and blows himself up to this room. Does no one remember this? You know, you can take the what is it, the honorable cloak off this thing, right? And get down to dirty, dirty business if your enemies want to be super dirty about it. Again, no military experience, but I'm sitting here thinking if the job needs to be done and you go, we're going to treat everybody honorably, and then they show themselves to be assholes and take advantage of your honor, then you can go, we're not treating anybody honorably. And we're not going to spare your women and children or your dogs and your cats. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm sure there are international this, that, and the other things, but people are using white phosphorus. Some of these people, you know who they are, you know where they are. If they're sitting in a whole bunch of, a wedding party with a whole bunch of people, shame on them for being around them at this point. This is fucking ridiculous. I think the people, and I said this a couple of months ago, the people in charge put their friends in charge, and that's water spilled across the table, right? It runs everywhere. So yeah, it runs into the Pentagon and it runs into the Treasury and it runs into the Supreme Court, which is stacked right now, and all these lower courts. Right. So now again, I'm not discouraging generals, but I'm saying if somebody's that wiggy and he picked you, why did he pick you? Because all of a sudden you're the best guy, or were you uh somebody that he kept an eye on who would play ball, and you were a captain, then like a major, or and then a captain and then a lieutenant, then a major, right? And then you're a excuse me, a colonel, lieutenant colonel, colonel, and then you're a general, right? Because you've got people looking out for you, which is, I guess, good. You want people looking out for you, but at this level, it can't become a golf club. It can't become uh, a social network of like this is Wall Street or something. I mean, war after war after war, we're losing, right? That whole move right there of blowing people up, uh, I think that's a shot across the bow. You look, every American car that they're driving, I would blow the fuck up. No one else is driving it but them. I gotta change this camera because I should be looking at you. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. Instead, I'm looking at this image on my TV of me talking to me, which is, uh, it doesn't make any sense. Um, I've been thinking about it all day. I was like, why would you do it? And I try and be a good Christian soul. I try and be forgiving, but I don't want to be a sucker. And I've come around. I used to not believe in the death penalty, right? Because I think it was used racially and unfairly. But now I'm like, some people absolutely deserve it. So this Dylan Ruth guy, he absolutely deserves it. Because reading that thing, he killed 9 people. First, he prayed with people, then he killed 9 people, and he left a 10th one alive so he could tell other people what he did. And then he gave up immediately and instantly confessed because he's absolutely sure there's going to be the idea that you did this in a black church, a notable one after all these church burnings, black church burnings, right, is outrageous. I blame this whole environment on the federal government who should have fixed it 160 years ago. I mean, a guy got beat with a flashlight. Guy just walked, we talked about yesterday, walked up on the scene for 2 seconds, and other cops had him. They had to get out of the way because he was swinging at this flashlight at this guy. You know what I mean? Or they would get hit in the head. And how would that look when you crack the eye socket of the cop behind you because just swinging this flashlight? And now he's got to lie about how he got hurt. You see what I'm saying? Just get rid of the bad actors. And they didn't. They sold us out. I think like we sold out the Palestinians and I was selling out the Afghanis. Sold out the Vietnam, right? We got out of there. But then I don't know how Vietnam became a tourist capital. And they like to see us. Some people do not like us after we had a war with them, right? But the Vietnamese are like, man, come on through, spend some cash, talk some shit. Think, they kind of like you can wander around there and be pretty safe. You can't do that in Mexico. You can only go to the resorts. By the way, Mexico is an illusion. Mexico is a failed state. Mexico is a failed state. And people go there on vacation because some of these places are pristine but super guarded. So you can go to where the tourist money comes in, where they make billions of dollars on these giant cruise ships. But you can't backpack through Mexico. The cartels will murder you off. And if it's not the cartel, it'll be some sinister dude. I don't know, but I mean, it would be his group of people, right? Uh, is Dylan Ruth part of that burning down black churches? I don't know, but I mean, the idea that how old was that guy? He was not yet 25, right? And then this goes back to the guy who, on his graduation, him and his friends are all out hanging out, and him and his truck, and they see a black guy, and he goes, "I hate black people." Boom, runs him over and kills him with all these people in the car on their graduation night. They're all like 17, 18. It doesn't make any sense. Let's see if I can find that one. Here's the thing about searching for stuff. You have to find the right phrasing to get it. And it's sort of become like a thing that I do. So this is an old thing. It had an 18-year-old, right? Nope, that's not it. Um pled guilty to it. I want to say it's Georgia. Yeah. Anyway, we're not even going to go into this. So, but yeah, I just that whole the whole idea of you're leaving and then they blew up like there were two suicide bombers. I mean, what are you going to do? Leave them to their own devices. More of their young men chose not to do it, right? Not to stand up. And that, but man, I gotta tell you, it's such a fucked up thing. They all, I don't know the nature of the people. So maybe everybody's peaceful and loving, and the only people who are jackasses are the Taliban, right? Something tells me before anything like that happened in America, you would have to collect all the guns, and that is the first thing that people are going to be like, "What?" um, America lets stupid people reign, like these two congressmen who went to Iraq a day before this happened, right? Maybe, man, I don't even know. The whole situation seems dark. It seems dark for no good reason. All right. So I was looking up how they phrased that Dylan Bruce thing. It was crazy. Here's another thing. All the people injured will go to the hospital, and ISIS will pick them up there. You know what I mean? It's just nobody wants to be there. If you're a doctor, if you manage to become a doctor in Kabul, why do you want to be there? But they're not going to let you leave because they need all these people, doctors and bankers, and to give a yeah. I mean, they're savages. Here's something we can talk about. Maybe I can find this. So yesterday we talked about rappers and the baby, right? And his whole they're trying to cancel. Oh my goodness, my eye now. They're trying to cancel him. Uh, a lot of this is just creepy. Why do you keep trying to tell me who's fucking who? Because it's celebrities. They're still like fucking 19 and 20, and I don't care. It's creepy that your giant news organization is so obsessed with these young celebrities' sex lives. It's creepy, right? I mean, if some young person in your neighborhood was dating another young person in your neighborhood and broke up, and some 50-year-old, delivery man, store clerk owner, was like, "Hey, do you know that pretty young lady who's in 10th grade, so and so, her and that young man broke up?" I'd be like, "What? Why you caring? Why you telling me?" But once it's on TV, it's perfectly fine. It's the creepiest shit. Yeah, that's the thing. They were trading on their service, and I went through this before. The idea of you being a serviceman telling me about Afghanistan, I'm like, right? If you're a general who knows how to move all these people in and all these people out and to secure a place, I get it. But just because you were a soldier there does not mean, and they always, and I tell you, they're trying to make everything emotional, right? And it's not a good look on the military people. But yeah, he has an opinion. But okay, if you accept his opinion, then you got to talk to the other. How many people served there? Hundreds of thousands, right? Why him? So higher up the chain you go, the better I understand it. Especially if you get, it's like I said, you get specific. Well, he should have known that, and I was one-star general who had to logistics guy who had to make sure there was enough food, enough gunpowder, enough bullets, enough guns, enough helmets, and enough socks, right? And enough whatever else the military gives you to go over there, enough food, right? To and because somebody has to come to him and go, we're sending this many people over. So then there's another guy who's like, all right, uh, the border is XYZ long. It's this kind of terrain. Um, this is what we need for all our men, right? Because the guy who takes them there and deploys them isn't also picking out like the proper gear and shit, right? But once the messages goes down and goes to several different generals who go, all right, we're going to need XYZ for these people to get them there. Another general goes, oh, well, after we get there, we're going to need XYZ of rooms and boards and beds that can sleep here. And another general goes, okay, going to have to secure this place, right? It's got to be big enough to fit XYZ amount of people. And so this is how we're going to secure it. Okay, and then when you got to get out of Afghanistan, talking to that guy to me makes sense. I'm sure some of those guys are retired, and you could talk to them. But no, instead you want to talk to the guy who killed Bin Laden. Okay, what? All right, fine. I mean, thank you, right? But still, why the fuck do I care what you have to say? Because I was over there and I killed Bin Laden. No, you see why I'm so ridiculous with how I look at the world? I mean, glad he killed him. I applauded when it happened. But now he's sitting here telling you this is either a policy issue, so you're talking about to some policy general, but I think it's more of a logistics, how to get a whole bunch of people out once the president said we're leaving on this day. And I think they thought he was not going to leave. But now you've got this problem. And now you got the media playing games with it by interviewing, this soldier who served over there, and I didn't, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, nobody's talking to people who was over there. Like, I was over there, but I drove a truck. I never saw any combat. This is what I think. Now, they want to go and they want to grab the guy who, no, he was front line. He served there, right? So what do you think since you were on the front line? It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. If you're talking to any of these people about the failures or why, you should be talking to people who are at least a colonel, right? Colonels and generals. And I'm sure there's enough of those retired. And don't talk to the ones who want to be, well, I guess everybody wants to be the next step up. But I don't know. I think that you could talk to some general no one ever heard who made sure everybody had shoelaces and boots and hats and rain gear. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And go, well, this is how much time I need to get this many people in and this many people out. And, and then you go, oh, okay, now we have a better idea. We're not doing any of that. We're not doing any of that. Joe Biden approval rating is like, I want to say it was, I thought it was, I want to say it's 40 something. Biden's approval rating. August 24th. This always happens here. The Politico. Let's look at some image. Here we go. New poll show Biden's approval rating. What did I say? 41? March, January. Approval, disapproval, 42, 57. Oh, these ridiculous polls. 61%. All right. This is what you get with approval tracker. Anyway, we're not going to be able to find it. Without something wanting me to register. All right, let's hit Politico, see what they got to say about it. New low. He's only been in office for 8 months. What was the last low? Half of Americans, 100 and what are we? 400 and some, 300 and what is the American population, for God's sakes? 350 million people. What is the American population?
As of 2021, the population of United States of America is 332,278.
332 million. That's not right. That's undercutting us by like at least 30 million people. 50%. So that's 100, 330. That's 137 million people, right? But the same number, 50% disapprove. His approval is 49%. His disapproval is 48%. Duh, my God. Trump had better ratings at this point in the game. Yeah, let's look up these guys who went to Afghanistan and what they're saying about it. You were there for 24 hours. How committed were you? 24 fucking hours. Amid frantic evacuation, 2 U.S. low Kabul trip prompts Biden administration fury. Seth Moulton and Peter Mayhew flew to Kabul on an unauthorized mission. And this is the shit. You know, you shouldn't be able to do that as a congressman. It's like you're not a prince of the country. Seeking information about who you just showed up there. Well, they're going to brief you because you showed up. You're not on any committee. You just showed up. They're going to give you a lot of respect because you're a congressman, but they're also going to shift you off and not tell you much. Let's look at AP. 2 members of Congress flew unannounced into Kabul airport in the middle of a chaotic evacuation, stunning State Department and U.S. military personnel who had to divert resources to provide security and information to the lawmakers. Yeah, Democrat and Republican. Yeah, I'm sure they got on the phone like, let's see who served them, because if this was serious and wasn't full of shit, right? You couldn't have 3 guys, 2 Democrats and a Republican went, or 2 Republicans, so you had to have one of each. I mean, why didn't they get a whole bunch of people going? I mean, it's just a bad idea. And that let officers complain that they could be taking seats that would have otherwise gone to other Americans or Afghans fleeing the country. But the Congress said in a joint statement that they made sure to leave on a flight with empty seats. No flights are leaving with empty seats. Who's flying empty seat planes out of Afghanistan when they're trying to? Man, these guys. Oh, all right, hold on. Tuesday, let officials complain. Flew in and out on charter aircraft and were on the ground at Kabul airport for several hours Tuesday. That let officials complain that they would be taking seats. What charter are you going for? And you left with no one else on your plane? But the Congress said in a joint statement they made sure to leave on a flight with empty seats. As members of Congress, we have a duty to provide oversight on executive branch. The 2 said in their statement, we conduct this visit in secret, speaking about it only after our departure to minimize the risk and disrupting the people on the ground, because we are there to gather information, not to grandstand. Really? What is this information that you gather? Because you've been back for a while. What you learn? Oh my God. Yeah, it's not so much oversight. You're not the boss of the executive branch. It's checks and balances, you idiot. So he can check you for going. Right? I think the president can, congressmen get military service and flights and all that. But I think the president can deny you because he's the chief. He's the chief bigwig of the military. You'll have to fly in on a commercial plane. Then what? These guys, man, they all they do is lie. Look, not everybody in the military is a good dude. Didn't that dude blow up the Moore Federal Building? Just not every cop is a good dude. So just because, I mean, two lawmakers, two lawmakers both. Okay, let's do this. Two lawmakers, both military veterans with backgrounds in the region. Why do they have backgrounds in the movie? Because they were veterans there. A Marine who had been outspoken critic of the Iraq War, served multiple tours in Iraq. Okay, Mayer was deployed as part of in the region. Okay, so they mean the Middle East. They don't mean in Afghanistan. As part of the Army Reserve, and later worked in Afghanistan as a non-governmental organization providing aid. He sounds like he's a fucking CIA guy. Moulton serves on the House and Armed Services Committee, and Mayer is on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. All right. It sounds ridiculous to me. Three officials with the flight for law. Three officials familiar with the flight said the State Department, Defense Department, and White House officials were furious about the incident because it's done without coordination with diplomat or military commanders directing the evacuation. The U.S. military found out about the visit to legislative aircraft was inbound to Kabul. That's when they found out. According to officials, the officials spoke on conditional anonymity to discuss ongoing military operations. One senior U.S. official said the administration saw the lawmakers' visit as manifestly unhelpful, and several other flights said uh, several other officials, good lord, several other officials said the visit was viewed as a distraction for troops and commanders at the airport who are waging a race against time to evacuate thousands of Americans and at-risk Afghans and others as quickly as possible. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi issued a statement Tuesday, taking note of the desire for some legislators to visit Afghanistan, saying, she's so full of shit. She was writing to reiterate that the Department of Defense and the state have requested that members not travel to Afghanistan, the region, during this time of danger. Ensuring the safety and timely evacuation of individuals at risk require the full focus and attention of the U.S. military and diplomatic teams on the ground in Afghanistan. The Pentagon, wow, where do I even start with that? That's a pro forma bullshit response from a politician. I would like to see somebody go, what the fuck were they thinking? And she makes sure you sit on whatever committee you're sitting on, right? She can't do anything about the Republican, I don't think, but she can do something about the Democrat. I mean, they're just a kingdom up there. They sit up there on Capitol Hill, being capitally ridiculous. Members of Congress have routinely gone to war zones over the past 2 decades. The visits were typically long planned and coordinated with officials on the ground in order to ensure their safety. President Joe Biden on Tuesday said he is sticking to his August 1 deadline for completing the risky airlift as people flee Taliban controlled Afghanistan. The two guys said they went into their visit. The two guys said they went into their visit wanting to push the president to extend the August 31st deadline. After talking to commanders on the ground and seeing the situation here, it's obvious that because we started the evacuation so late that no matter what we do, we won't get everyone out on time by September 11th, even by September 11th. Yeah. Sketchy, sketchy. Yeah. They should both lose their upcoming dealio. Oh, we were looking up the the rapper, right? Because here's the thing, we were talking about it yesterday. My God. Um, Okay, so here it is. I'm not gonna read all this. I'm just gonna read you the first paragraph because I thought it was friggin' hysterical.
The name I don't remember. Are you new here? And he said Queens, so he knows who I'm talking about.
What
But
is
yeah, I am
this?
excited that we have this guy back with us.
Oh man, why do they do that? I hate that they do that, and you can't silence it. Where is it? Because I'm uninterested in any of the bullshit. This was a thing that people hated 20 years ago. Something just starts playing in the background. Um, so this is what he said, right? Let's put this up. COVID can suck a dick, Busta Rhymes said on stage in June, voicing the valid frustrations of men. First of all, who wrote this? Uh, that Cooper and Neal gets credit for the image. Andre G. Andre JG. Okay. COVID can suck a dick, Busta Rhymes said on stage in June, voicing the valid frustration of millions who have lost loved ones and had their lives upended amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, remember what I said yesterday, right? I should open this one down. Oh, remember what I said yesterday? I said when I was a kid, like I mean, you don't learn context. You learn like being a fat, what they call it, don't be a sissy. What they told me before I even like they told me this when I get a skinned knee and I would cry, and they go, "Oh, don't only sissies cry. Don't be a sissy. Don't cry." And right, so how old were you when you were worried about your skinned knee? Right, I mean, so it must have been like 3, 4, 5, right? So it's part of like this. This is one of the first insults I learned that I didn't want to be that, right? Um, didn't know what sexuality was, but I learned like the word faggot when I was like just as young, but used a lot more when I was like 9, 10, 11, 12, right? All these things. Sissy is another one. I learned that long before, right? When I was 5, 6, 7, right? So all these things. So I was saying that and I said yesterday, COVID, he says COVID can suck a dick. I said growing up, telling somebody to suck their dick was an insult. No one uses it anymore. No one says it anymore. But a day later, here we are talking about two things happen, right? We're talking about the sucker dick reference that we mentioned yesterday, and the idea that why would she shoot at the military leave in Afghanistan? And here we are talking about it again the following day because they're in the news. So just the first paragraph is I just burst out laughing because we were talking about COVID. So it says COVID can suck a dick. Busta Rhymes said on stage in June, voicing the valid frustration. I like the valid frustration of millions who have lost loved ones and had their lives upended by COVID-19 pandemic. He could have stopped there, right? So he starts it off with COVID can suck a dick. And then he puts all this kind of like finery on this statement, COVID can suck a dick, voicing the valid frustrations of, and then he's instantly like, he could have stopped there. Like, I don't even know, man. I think this whole opening paragraph is sort of ridiculous in its own right. He could have stopped there. Really, he could have stopped that COVID can suck a dick because that's a valid. You can't. Can I quote you, sir? Like, no. I mean, you might not have wanted him to stop there because you need to quote something, but he kept going. All these little weird policies and government mandates suck a dick. Is right. So it's clear whether his justified the distrust of the government has taken him over the past 18 months of the pandemic. He demanded that officials stop trying to take over our civil liberties away and irresponsibly exclaimed, fuck your mask. Then he reeled up irresponsibly exclaimed, right? Irresponsibly exclaimed. Irresponsibly exclaimed. He just exclaimed. I mean, you know what I mean? You putting irresponsibly in there. So yeah, this is why you have to read who's writing what and what their intended outcome is. So this is obviously a takedown of rappers and their political opinions. Um, wearing a Gucci jacket on stage, go homie. I mean, Busta Rhymes is not a young dude. He should be smarter, but it is what it is, man. And it's also cultural, right? I mean, we see things differently in the black community. Not wearing a mask makes us susceptible to COVID and the virus that claimed the lives of many people whose family wish they were still with. He reeled off things we can't do while wearing a mask, including eating and having including eating and being seen smiling. He's right about that. Uh, he's right that the mask is on an inconvenience, but it's not. But it's a necessary one. So you're not just writing stories. You're taking your. Is this an opinion piece? I think it's an opinion piece. But we don't talk about COVID on this channel just because I want to see what the last part. The continuous suspicion about COVID and vaccine mandate proves a conflict, information, ego, and delusion. Wow, that's a sentence. Mandates reputation, a confluence of misinformation, ego, and delusion. Many of the artists have come out against vaccine and do much better than those who are behind on rent and wondering whether the next check comes. So now you're saying they're doing it for money? Yeah, see, it's just the goofiness of people who write and who hires them and why they hired them to write nonsense in the first place. Uh, Here in Virginia, we have this black radio station, and it's they always go, so and so is a sponsor of this thing. So they have black anchors, but the whole thing is run and operated by, no disrespect, but white people. So how's it a black newspaper, right? And if you listen to, they only really report on famous people and black people being killed by the cops. Then they give you this history segment and this bullshit history people. It's like, so and so launch a Motown Records, and you're like that. Okay, yeah, right. But it's not about anybody else. It's not about Joanne Chesimard, right? Who we talked about yesterday. But it's a black news network. Dude, why are you so crazy about my Twitter? I'm really on it. I do have yes, I do have more than one Twitter. But yeah, so I'm not on it. I should be on it more, but I'm not. This whole thing is not oh wow. This whole thing is not synergistic as it should be. What? Hold on, I gotta check the weather. This looks good. It looks hot. It looks hot, but it looks good. It cleared up nicely. So, what was I talking about? Okay. Okay. So those were the two stories that I had in mind. Like when I was running through the day, like the Afghanistan thing and the stupid rapper thing. Um, Stupid rapper. Not why do I want to say stupid rapper, but rappers say shit. And they shouldn't be held to be like the standard, right? But at this point, I think they really are. Ugh, I think they really are sort of holding people out for ridicule so they can sell papers. Not everybody's going to be pro whatever you want them to be. And a lot of these people, if you ask them a certain question, how they're going to respond. So why ask them? And why are you not asking everybody in their age group who are in other genres of music? Go ask the what's the boys' names? The Jonas Brothers, some political shit. So you can ridicule them on TV or whatever. They don't want to do that. So yeah, the whole thing is ridiculous. It makes me crazy. A lot of people are going to work for Netflix. I watched more retail workers are quitting than ever before, but more stores are opening than expected. What does that even mean? If more people are quitting, are you hiring more people than are quitting? 13 members and 18 wounded. Yeah, man, that doesn't make any sense. And look, if I reach my hand out to you to shake your hand and you stab me in my palm, I'm not going to reach out to shake your hand anymore. And I think the American military keeps reaching out to shake people's hand. Um, I think they should, and they have the power to do it. They should, you know, peel their cap back, as they say in the streets. Video shows moment dispute breaks out in gunfire on New York street. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think a lot of people have cameras every place, and you're gonna get these these incidents. But what you really need to be doing is trying to solve why these incidents happen, and no one's interested in that. Body cam shows the Louisiana State Trooper beat a black man with a flashlight 18 times. Yeah, I don't think he's got a leg to. Monica Lewinsky hired a therapist to watch impeachment. She's famous, so like, why'd you watch it? I'm sorry. I'm just running through these. I'm getting caught by headlines. Afghans developed a taste for freedom. That's an opinion. And if they did, they would have did something to hold on to it. What, you're mad at the Americans for leaving? The swamp's favorite tax break. There's an opinion for you. Uh yeah, there's not a lot I noticed other than those two stories. So I guess this is gonna be a little shorter than I wanted it to be. You know, before the pandemic, I like movies. Right? I could talk about movies. Now there's not really a lot to talk about. Biden vows retribution for attacking Kabul, says we will hunt you down. How? You got nobody there to hunt him down. I mean, God, Biden just talks. He's useless. We will hunt you down. Capitol Police sued Donald Trump. Well, here's the thing, you can't sue him. He's a government official at the highest echelons of our government. It's National Dog Day. Oh, wow. Happy National Dog Day, everybody. What is ISIS K? Islamic State affiliate group suspected in the Kabul attack. Yeah, here's the thing. You should just be blowing them clean out of the water right now and stop playing these games. But why start now? We've been there for 20 fucking years. But yeah, how many bombs can you drop them? How much shit do you have on them? And like I said, they're driving around in Humvees, right? Using American weapons, shooting at you with American weapons. I mean, all these modern cars have a computer and a GPS in it. You should know where they all are anyway. I would just level the place. But then again, I'm not, know, I'm pretty sure that violates something. Do I even want to look up Geneva Convention? Geneva Convention. All right. Content application enforcement, protecting powers. Excuse me. Grave breaches, right to a fair trial when no crime is alleged. Legacy. Soldiers as prisoners of war will not receive a trial unless the allegation of a war crime has been made. Soldiers are employed for the purpose of serving in war. Engaging in armed conflict is legitimate and does not constitute a grave breach. Should a soldier be arrested by belligerent forces, they are to be considered lawful combatants and afforded the protection status of prisoner of war unless until cessation of the conflict. Human rights applies to any incarcerated individual, including the right to fair trial. Charges may be brought against an enemy POW after a fair trial, but an issue crime must be accused must be an explicit violation. Okay, I think that's the one they always quote in movies. Not all violations of the treaty are treated equally. The most serious crimes are termed grave breaches and provide a legal definition of a war crime. Willful killing, torture, or inhumane treatment, including biological. Willful causing great serious or injury to the body or health. Compelling a protected person to serve in the armed forces of a hostile power. Compelling a protected person to serve in the armed forces of a hostile power. Compelling what is a protected person? So, but compelling someone to work. So, the Chinese army captures a marine, and then they make him serve in their army, right? But what is right? Willful causing great suffering or serious bodily injury. Compelling a protected person. What is a protected person? Willfully deprive a protected person of the right to a fair trial if accused of wrong. What is a protected person? Yeah, don't take hostage. Extensive destruction or appropriation of property not justified by military necessity and carried out unlawfully and wantonly. That's looting essentially. Unlawful deportation, transfer, or confinement. What is a protected person? The term protecting powers as a specific meaning under these conventions. A protected power is a state that is not taking part in the armed conflict, but that has agreed to look after the interests of the state that is party to the conflict. The protected power is a mediator, enabling the flow of communication between the parties to the conflict. The protected power also monitors implementation of these conventions, such by visiting the zones of conflict. Oh, so these, okay, so the protecting power must act as an advocate for prisoners, the wounded, and civilians. So protected power would be like a third party country who isn't fighting. They're ambassadors. Left me a message about Robert. Right to a fair trial when no one is when no how do you have a right to a fair trial when no crime is alleged? New challenge. Artificial intelligence and autonomous weapon systems such as military robots and cyber weapons are creating challenges in the creation and interpretation application of law of armed conflict. So if I have a robot that goes out and blows somebody's head off, who's responsible for that? The complexity of these challenges as well as the speed for which they are developed. Well, maybe we're growing too old for war and we should get our shit together. I mean, are we at the place in the world where, well, you're always going to have guns, but like Russia's not going to invade America, right? He said, knowing full well that what he said yesterday came true 24 hours later. Parties are GC, one fee, impeachment. What is this all? Oh, so not everybody is party to all of the convention. You people suck. In the name of mercy, the Swiss Confederation, Grand Duchy of Baden, King of Belgium, King of Denmark, the Kingdom of Spain, the French Empire, the Grand Duchy of Hesse, the Kingdom of Italy, the Kingdom of the Netherlands, the Kingdom of Portugal and Algarves, the Kingdom of Prussia, the Kingdom of Rottingham. A lot of kingdoms in Europe at one point. Now I think there's only three kings left, right? Monaco is run by a prince, not a king. So you got the Queen of England, you got the King of Spain, and you've got the King of what's that Nordic country with a king? Swiss, Norway, it's Sweden, Switzerland, Norway, and Finland. How many kings are in EUROP? There remains, as of 2020, 12 sovereign monarchies in Europe. 7 are kingdoms: Denmark, Norway, Sweden, the United Kingdom, Spain, and the Netherlands, and Belgium. 12, but 7 are kingdoms. What is these again? Denmark, King of Denmark, King of Norway, Sweden, United Kingdoms. I knew that one. Spain, I knew that one. Netherlands and Belgium have kings. All right. We don't hear a lot about kings in America unless it's European. Geneva Convention. All right. We're about to be streaming for an hour. We haven't yet. Ooh. So over the last few days, I've been having some issues here at the crib, and I haven't been playing much guitar at all. Prompting me I was making a lot more progress when I was playing every day for 3 hours. So what I think I'm going to do in the next couple of weeks is start a daily guitar practice session. It's going to be bad, like the 3 weeks of doing it every day was. We're going to crunch them closer together, though. It's not going to be 7 in the morning like it was, but we're gonna. So every time I look up songs on the radio, yeah. Every time I look up songs on the radio, I fall down a rabbit hole and I just end up listening to like old guitar songs. Like that's how that Cat Stevens thing came about. I've got the air conditioner in the other room. What's the weather outside? What's the weather outside?
It's currently partly cloudy and 88 degrees.
What is going on with this? All right, so well, there you go. All right, hold on. Let's play Twister. Let's play Wrist. Now I've got that song in my head. Biden took a bull attackers. We will hunt you down. Mm-hmm. President Biden warns terrorists behind the Kabul airport attack. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna fix this up so I can put this on the screen and you all can see it because me reading it to you doesn't make sense. And it's a visual medium, right? I can't keep hating if the video is bad and then do stuff like read to you like it's bedtime stories. How they blew themselves up and you left the Taliban with a high tech arsenal. What you're gonna do? I stand by my president. Of course you do. You're an idiot. The U.S. is that's not a statement of anything. The U.S. is talking tough on being chased out of Afghanistan. I mean, what are they going to do after they evacuate by August 31st? They're going to catch a return flight to Afghanistan to hunt down the people responsible. I just said that. Would that bring innocent civilians in service? Oh, you're a nice lady. People forgot that we have incredible special ops in Syria in the area. That is how we will overcome future attacks. No, we don't have special ops in the area. Old man yells at cloud. All right. What do? I stand with my team, right? I stand with the West. I stand with my nation. I stand with my state. I stand with my town, right? So it all piddles down to get smaller and smaller and smaller. I stand with my friends and my family, but I can be critical. How are you going to get retribution? How? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Uh, let's play Twister. Let's play Risk. All right, I'll be right back, guys. Um, give me 40 seconds. I've got this song stuck in my head. And so I do like the idea of bringing back the daily music thing because I got to get good at this guitar. Um, but I also got to figure out how to better run this show. So when it was 3 hours, I talked a lot more. And there were a lot of moments where, but you know what? I got a lot of shit to be doing. I should be doing. Um, you guys don't hear that. Those are cicadas. We still have them. So what am I supposed to do? I don't think I'm still wearing masks. I'm still washing my hands. I'm not seeing too many people. I do stuff like occasionally go out to McDonald's, right, on off hours and get those super ridiculous fries. I finally went out to a restaurant like last month, but generally I stay away from people. Oh, excuse me. So I stay away from people, and I'm beginning to think that that's not good. So we should probably catch a topic because you don't want to hear this. So yeah, that's pretty good. Uh, that's what I was looking at today. You want to? I mean, I don't follow sports. I don't talk about sports. I follow them, but I don't talk about it. And I don't follow celebrities at all. Officer who shot Ashley Babbitt during Capitol riot breaks silence. I saved countless lives. Oh, did you really? By being barricaded in a room and shooting through a glass window? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I'm not going to condemn you for shooting her, but you know, I think that's bullshit. I think the lawyer was like, you can probably make some money off of this. Write a book, get a part-time TV movie or whatever. Wife hospitalized with COVID comes home to find husband dead from the virus. Seven U.S. Capitol Police officers sue former president. A death metal concert with one exit, and it's on fire. Okay. California's still on fire, people. This is the breaking news. U.S. officials provide the Taliban with names of Americans and Afghan allies to evacuate. Oh, okay. All right. Wow. I don't even know what to say about that. U.S. officials provide the Taliban with. Okay, we got to look into this. Oh, boy. U.S. officials in Kabul gave the Taliban a list of names of American citizens, green card holders, and Afghan allies to grant entry into the militant-controlled outer perimeter of the city's airport, a choice that prompted outrage behind the scenes from lawmakers and military officials. Wow. The move, detailed to Politico by three U.S. congressional officials, was designed to expedite the evacuation of tens of thousands of people from Afghanistan as chaos erupted in Afghanistan's capital city last week after the Taliban seized control of the country. It also came as Biden administration had been relying on the Taliban for security outside the airport. Whoa. I don't even know what to tell you. A spoken for the U.S. Central Command declined comment. You should not be able to decline comment. This four-star general, U.S. Marine. Yeah. Wow. I don't even know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I can't even finish reading that story. That's ridiculous. I don't know what to tell you. Wow. Wow. They're not going to turn over everybody. Okay, apparently we began to have issues with the stream. We've been streaming for a little bit over an hour. Come on, seriously. So I don't understand it. It is what it is. What the hell is that? All right. Shows up for tomorrow, I guess. The Friday show. I really have to sync up my dealio, bro. Um, all right, so sent you a message about Robert. Robert. I will say this. The people in charge who run everything, who are accountable to no one, will have to answer to no one because they're responsible to no one. Come on, guys, seriously. I put this thing down because I could not get a clean tone out of it. And as I drove around, I tried to keep the chorus in my head. We've been at this since the middle of June. Do I even know all the chorus that I learned, that I shoved in my head and didn't learn a song for? And then a lot of other shit happened, and I sort of just hear that. Yeah. It's the best thing to do, though. Really, it really is. Fiddle around. Let's stop this. Fiddle around with the. You know what this weekend we're gonna do? We're gonna take this show on the road. We're gonna go out into the world. I guess I'm gonna have to either use my iPhone. I don't have a holder for this, or my phone. And we'll do what? Go to the beach and get sand and everything? What should we do? What? I'm telling you. When is sunset?
Sunset tomorrow will be at 7:39 p.m.
Wow. When was sunset tonight?
Sunset was at 7:41 p.m. today.
All right, so that is 10 minutes ago. It is what it is, man. All right, so what are we doing here? I look for the message. Woo! All right, so that's right. So, what do you make of this? What I want to do is immerse myself in music and get good enough in the next 2 years to write silly little ditties. I want to level this out with the shop. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I don't want to. I mean, I gave up talking politics, but things change, right? Here's the thing. I don't want to be smug about it, but I'm right about a lot of shit. It's always the miserable shit, though. I wish I could be right about like some happiness, but they don't want the American forces back in there. They don't. Americans have tired of this, but I mean, you blow up another bunch of Americans, and Americans will go, you should fucking stay there for at least one more year and kill as many of them as you can, because that's the American energy. But if they're willing to die for God and we're willing to kill them, I don't know what to tell you. I think we will run out of ordinance before all the people willing to die for God are dead. It's one of those things. And then how do you know who the bad guy is? You left them all this equipment. I have to clean this thing. Hey, I learned what the difference is between a pony and a horse. Anybody care? No? Nobody? No? Nobody? Ponies are just short horses. Did you know this? I did not know this. Wow. My bald spot is getting bigger. It is going to be awesome. Um, I wonder if I have to put sunscreen on the top of my head when this happens. Now, you know what I'll do? I just wear a hat. Since I don't like to be like everybody else and everybody who's going bald shaves their head, I think I'm just going to grow the side like way out. And I'm not going to dread it and put in a, I'm just going to, and then I'm just going to put, what's that stuff that makes it more stand out? Just kind of like poofy. Just like, yeah, it's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be awesome. I look for your message. I didn't see it. But anyway, remember, man. I mean, life is short. Don't deal with sinister people or bullshit. There's enough of that in the world. But you know, you can be quirky and interesting like me. One of these days, I'm gonna read everybody's tarot cards. Maybe that'll be it. Oh, look at that one. Just that fast. Just that fast. Three of Hearts. Wow. Followed by Temperance. Let's do that. You know, this. Wow. Followed by Justice. Huh. So here's the thing. If we were in some upside down and the Emperor, or right side up, upside down and versus right side up means something. But that's pretty fucking good right there. I wonder who's this for, because I'm thinking about Rob. I don't want to William rather. I don't want to read his tarot on well, but I don't read tarot like everyone else reads tarot. I use a very different system. But again, I don't take it seriously. Other people live on it. I wouldn't take money for it. I would do it for fun. If you were very serious, I wouldn't do it for you because you're serious and I'm not. It's just fun. Some of those things that you should know, like playing poker, you should know that. Like playing chess, you should know that. Just like when you were a kid, you knew the rules to playing. When you were a kid, you knew the rules to playing checkers. There's some games you should know. They're good for your mind and they're good to make you sort of work things out. I love chess. Last 5 games, I want to say maybe 3 games, I played. I lost to my nephew, kicked my ass. I totally underestimated him. Totally underestimated. Now, am I a great chess player? No, but I read some books on it, so I'm interested. I'm a better pool player. Anybody want to play some pool? Get your swag on. Uh, we maybe I should fire up my PC and play some D&D games. We human beings need distractions. It shouldn't always be something that you have to pay some giant conglomerate for, like tobacco or the burgeoning marijuana industry, right? Or the long-standing liquor industry, right? To kind of like just take the edge off. But at the same time, some people who don't do any of that, they'll take pills from, you know, GlaxoSmithKline or Johnson and Johnson or any of these other medical sort of dealios, man. So yeah, I'm just not fucking gonna do that anymore. Uh, but at the same time, don't be a glutton. right? The Bible says, I know nobody likes to talk about the Bible, but the Bible says, it tells you the kind of person you should be in this roundabout way. Even though I think they've rewritten a lot of stuff to sort of make themselves. Let's look up the sins, the deadly sins and cardinal sins, right? Seven deadly sins. Um, seven deadly sins are the cardinal sins, right? Anyway, now I'm just curious. Lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, pride. Pride is a sin. You should be proud of yourself. But you can also look at these and see how gluttony, lust, greed, right, and wrath and envy has powered America to like the top of the global charts, right? I would throw pride in there too. But there was virtues, seven virtues. Let's look up that. So right, so the idea of this Wikipedia, seven virtues. All right, excellent. So we've got the sins here and the virtues here. And what are the virtues? Cardinal virtues. Prudence, justice, fortitude, temperance. We just looked up justice, temperance. What was the other two that we looked up? So this is why I like it, because it doesn't mean anything, I'm sure, but it means something to some people, and some people can read into shit. Do you know that there was a woman? I actually believe this. I believe that some people are psychic, but I believe those people are as rare as what is super rare. A diamond as big as your head being found, right? I think some people are somehow connected. Why not? People, you know what I'm saying? Some people are mean for no reason. Some people are spiritual for no reason. Why wouldn't somebody then be the most connected to spirituality, right? And I think that takes place in like weird ways. But I think a lot of people, once they start asking you for money, it you can drop like that shit by 90%. All these cardinal, not cardinal. What are these not cardinal. You go there, you ride the rides, you win a Cupid doll. Those carnivals, right? One of these carnival sort of. I don't know, man. I think spirituality. Some people live in it. I don't think it's innocence at all either. I just think it's a spiritual place that you can live in. Uh, but yeah, no, I'm not that. I like to fuck with interesting things and read about interesting people and try and understand where other people coming from. I tried to understand Santeria, which was a thing where I grew up in New York. Like the Puerto Ricans had that like only slavery. And I was like, it was one of the few religions that I first heard of that was like small, that was in my arena versus like the Great Spirit, which I saw on TV, but I was like, oh, that's what Indian believe in. Their religion is the Great Spirit, right? I had to wrap my head around it. I was like, but there's no churches, right? How do you believe in that? No one takes money. How do you believe in that? So like the Great Spirit is one of those things, right? So then I found out about Santeria, and I was like, oh, really? And it's not really like voodoo, but I found, so prudence, justice, fortitude, and temperance. And it's chastity, temperance, charity, diligence, patience, kindness, and humility. Brave, modest, and reverence. Okay, Glad. All right. Chastity, pure and abstinence. Yeah, nobody's doing chastity. Temperance, humanity, and equanimity. Okay, we could do temperance. Charity, but charity has become a scam. So chastity is the opposite is lust. All right. Temperance, humanity, equanimity. The opposite is gluttony. So for myself, right? Charity, also greed is also for myself, right? Opposite of that, diligence. is awaken perseverance, right? Versus sloth, which is sitting on your butt. Okay. Patience, forgiveness, and mercy versus envy. Patience versus envy. Is that patience is the opposite of envy? Huh, hold on, wait. Let's think about this for a minute. Patience is the opposite of envy. No. Yeah, don't kill people. Right. Which one did he say? Patience? Yeah, because something that society has moved past and you've taken the genie out of the bottle. You're not gonna get women or men to be abstinent, or I mean what you want them to do is not be run around people and not cheat on each other, right? But yeah, you want to encourage charity, but there's too much greed in the world. All right, so let's go through this. Chastity we can get rid of. Lust, yeah, if you lust point your lust in the right direction at one person for 80 years, why not? That's great. That tells me a great sex life. All right. So that's great. Temperance, humanity, equanimity, glut. Okay. We can use a little more temperance, but people, I don't want to say selfish, but people want nice things, right? That doesn't mean that you're selfish. So maybe we can turn this down from 10 to, let's say, 4, and let people like still party and do shit. Charity. Maybe we can turn the greed down to, like, I mean, gluttony. I mean, the greed leads to your gluttony. So if you can do nice things and live a nice life without stealing from anybody, that's temperance and that's gluttony. That's fine. But if you have greed, greed implies that to me that you're stealing. So you want to, whatever you have, you want a little charity. But what you want to do is punish the greedy. We don't punish anybody in America who's rich, quite frankly, unless they murder off their spouse. Um, but if you're politically connected, you can murder anybody you want. Diligence, sloth. Yeah, we need a lot more diligence, more people learning music, people learning getting college education, people starting their own businesses, people, uh, that breaks the chain of all of us being under one of 13 giant, one actually 5 giant umbrellas. Apparently, I've read someplace where that 5 companies own all the businesses in America. These giant multinationals. 5 companies own all the businesses. 5 companies own all the business. A handful of companies control almost everything we buy. Yeah, it's fucking yeah. This is the famous picture. If we can open image in a new tab. Let's see if we can do that. So yeah, let's swap me out here for a second. This image Americans should not be for, right? They put different names on stuff, but there's like Nestle, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, Unilever, General Mills, Kellogg's, Dannon Yogurt Company. Really, they own a lot of shit too. Mars, Wrigley, right? But this is the food company. These companies are also like the giant fashion houses, which you don't really need, but what you, I mean, man, everything is pretty like, I don't know, man. I can't even, it's been a while. I can't even explain what I'm talking about. But it's the same with the TV market. Um, Top 10: Walmart, Amazon, Apple, CVS Health. CVS is in the top 4 companies: United Health Group, Berkshire Hathaway, McKesson, Amerisource, Bergen. I mean, who are these companies? And what control do they have over your life? It just it gets a little spooky to me. All right, so vainglory, historical sins is a neglect to take care of something that one should do. Acedia, it is translated to apathetic, listless, depression without joy is melancholy. Huh. Vainglory or vanity. Pope Gregory viewed it as a form of pride, so he folded vainglory into pride for his listing of sins. Yeah, some people cannot stop being pretty. If you're naturally pretty, that's fine. But if all you can do is wear those 14-inch nails where you can't do anything, and if you ever looked under them, they're fucking disgusting under there. They've got like, ugh. Yeah. So we need properly pointed lust, right? We need temperance. Um, Only maybe 30% of that. Charity, we need to up to help our fellow man. Diligence, everybody needs to be diligent. Nobody should be lazy. So we're gonna give that one. Patience, we need a lot more of that. Envy, I mean, nobody wants. You don't want to envy people. They don't. That's the negative of the whole thing. Kindness, we could use a little more kindness. Wrath had this place, but people are just being mean to everybody for no fucking reason. Uh, because they're miserable, quite frankly. Like you being mean to people because you're miserable is sort of like you working out your therapy on random people. Um, and yeah, no, fuck you. Like take up jogging, take up weightlifting, get your shit together. Yeah, stop being like an angry asshat. Humility. Yeah, I need to be a little more. I need a little more humility, but humility is overrated. Um, wait, how is humility, bravery, and modesty? Modesty and not bravery should not be under humility. Humility is sort of like pride is, hey, look at me, I'm great and I'm wonderful. Humility is, oh no, no, no. You should have a little pride in your whole deal. But I don't even see how bravery is pride. Humility is just, man, I don't even know. One being thou shalt not kill. The other one would be, I don't even know what they are. What are the Ten Commandments? Let's look up the Ten Commandments and see if we can figure it out. Uh Man, it's all right. I'm the Lord thy God. No other God before me. All right. Thou shalt not take thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain. All right. Don't curse. Right. Okay. I get that. Remember to keep the the Lord's day, which is Sunday or it's Saturday for some people. Honor thy father and mother, which makes sense. Do that anyway. Thou shalt not kill. That's one. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Huh. So I'm the Lord. That's vain. That shall not take the Lord's name. That's vain. They're keeping holy the Lord's name. Okay, that honor thy father and mother. All right. I'm gonna go with honor thy father and mother, and thou shalt not kill. No, hold it. Honor and thou shalt not kill, and thou shalt not steal. That's got to be the two he said, right? I wonder what. Okay, let's look up. I'm thinking all of a sudden I was about to look up Phil Collins. Um, George Carlin, Phil Collins. George Carlin Commandments. See, and that's a good essay, right? So we can't play it. Adultery. Yeah, I wish I could play this. I can't play this. Mm, thou shalt always be honored and faithful, especially to the provider of thy nookie. And second, thou shalt try real hard not to kill anyone unless, of course, they pray to a different, inevitable, invisible avenger than you do when you pray to. And third, thou shalt keep the religion to thyself. Okay. Interesting. All right. Interesting. Um, I think we did it. I think we rewrote the virtues and the sins, and I think that means that we're awesome. And the deities out there need to fix their shit because we're coming for them. uh, it's 8:15. All right, we've been streaming for an hour and a half. I want to thank everyone for coming through. Thank you for coming through, uh, William. Um, I will be here tomorrow. I think it's up. Is it up? It is up, right? Yep, it's up. I'll be here tomorrow with my weird opinions about the way things are working out. I hope I have better news for you. Um, like I said, I have a lot going on over here. But I've committed to 1,000 days, and I'm absolutely about it. Unless sickness or government intervention or ruination precludes me from doing that. Ruination is anything that's bad. Uh, Thank you, William. You have a good night too. Um, so yeah, we're gonna try and reawaken the guitar thing at least for an hour a night. And if I start this at 6:30, maybe I'll start that at 5 and bleed that into this. Uh, but yeah, I'm really keen on picking up a talent. I encourage you to pick up a talent. I encourage you to be loyal to your homies and your family. I encourage you not to be taken advantage of by anybody. It's called being woke. I know that word gets a lot of bad rep. I encourage you not to waste these days, right? And I know that it's not easy out there. I know it, but I think that you might be able to. What's what I'm looking for? Dodge some of the standard traps that most of us fall into. Uh, if you just kind of like keep your eyes open and your head on the swivel, right? So do that. I wish you well. I will try and do that. I will be here tomorrow, 6:30, give or take. uh 6:30. Yeah, I'm trying not to be late. I was late today. I apologize for that. I know your time is valuable. Um, so I apologize for that. But normally I'm here, right? So 6:30 ish tomorrow. Uh, please like and subscribe. It's super important. It helps out the channel, which is my channel. And watch us figure it all out. We're solving problems here on this part of the internet. All right, everyone, have a good night. I will see you in the next one, and the next one is tomorrow. Peace.